Hello everyone and welcome to Victoria's Cantina. Today we're having a look at the Hasbro Star Wars The Black Series number 25 Imperial Death Trooper 6-inch scale figure. If you've seen the new Rogue One, a Star Wars story trailer, it's pretty amazing. I'm really looking forward to this film. It feels very much to me like Star Wars Rebels in live action. I'm really excited for it and it looks stunning. It truly looks stunning and I think the story is going to be great. So really excited. And the packaging here is the same as we have been seeing for the last year for the 6-inch Black Series line. You can see the figure in there. You get a pretty cool image of the Death Trooper on the lower right. Side of the box gives you a peek inside. Opposite side indicates that this is number 25 in the 6-inch Black Series. And the back reiterates all of that information. The elite soldiers of Imperial Intelligence, Death Troopers, are encased in specialized Stormtrooper armor with a dark, ominous gleam. These soldiers serve as bodyguards and enforcers for Director Krennic, a highly placed officer within the Advanced Weapons Research Division of the Empire. Then at the very top, you get a peek inside as well. And at the bottom, you get your barcode right there. So, okay, I am going to go ahead and take a few minutes to get this out of the packaging. I'm pretty excited to see what this is like because I love Trooper figures, and I don't think this is going to be any exception. So let me go ahead and do that. When we come back, we'll take a closer look and see what it's like. Alright you guys, and here is the Imperial Death Trooper out of the packaging. And this looks really good. I really like this character design. I mean, even though this is a brand new design, it still really fits in with the old classic Star Wars trooper aesthetic. Now you can see how the arms are kind of spread out a little bit. Unfortunately, that is something we sometimes see with figures that have ball jointed shoulders, and for that reason, we just can't get him to be perfectly flat. I wish we could, but we can't. But if you have him posed on your shelf, it shouldn't be too big of a problem. The sculpt on the figure is very nicely done. It looks exactly like what we've been seeing in the promo materials and the trailers for Rogue One. The coloration is this very nice glossy black mixed in with some more matte black sort of elements, and I think it looks really nice. Being a Black Series figure, he does have a lot of articulation and comes with 2 accessories. Go ahead and give you a close-up here of the helmet. And again, it's very nicely sculpted. There's a lot of nice little details there. From all angles, this is just a really cool looking trooper. Very intimidating looking, I might add. I mean, it really does look scary, especially if you've seen these guys in the trailers. They do look a bit scary. As far as those lenses go, they're kind of like a greenish sort of color. Not just the lenses, but also right here, these 2 little holes right there are also kind of that same greenish color. And I like it. I think it works pretty well on this figure, especially with all the black. It's just a very nice sort of color to complement the black. And just very nice sculpting and very nice details on here. From all angles, really. It looks really solid. Really like this design. Nice details there on the back. And the rest of the body also looks great. Very Stormtrooper-ish, but not quite a Stormtrooper. It definitely looks a little bit more high-tech than your run-of-the-mill Stormtrooper. And that's pretty cool. I mean, these guys are supposed to sort of be elite. And I mean, it definitely shows when you look at this. Get that typical circle with the 2 stripes right there that you see on Imperial figures. And you can see that you get this really glossy armor that also has the jumpsuit underneath. That's more of a grayish color. And I think that looks great. It really offsets the glossy black. And all of these details are very nicely sculpted. You get some silver there on the belt. Lots of pouches that he's got around his belt as well. There's a little bit of a holster sort of thing right here. Bendy plastic. Arms look great. The legs look great. And again, it's just a very high-tech looking trooper. And that's really cool. Interestingly, the shoes down here at the bottom are more of a matte black compared to the shin armor. And you would expect them to be glossy, but perhaps that's film accurate. And you get peg holes on the bottom. Overall, it just looks fantastic. I really have no complaints with the aesthetic of this figure. Now, in terms of articulation, you do get your ball joint here at the head that we're used to seeing on Black Series 6-inch figures. You can turn it down quite a bit. And then he does look up just a little bit. And if you look here at the neck, you can see that joint down there. He's got ball joints at both of these shoulders. They don't move out all the way. And I kind of find that the left arm moves a little bit more easily out. You can see that he's got a soft plastic here for the shoulder pad, so it kind of just goes up over the rest of the shoulder, which is pretty nice. But here on this side, it seems a lot more stiff for whatever reason. So you can't really get out a whole lot. I suppose that's going to be enough, but it's not going to go out completely. But you can move it a good little bit, and it is a stiff joint, but it seems to work pretty well. You get your ball joints here at both of the elbows, and they seem to work quite well. You get bends and swivels at both of the wrists, and those are pretty nice. Same exact joint on the right hand. You get a ball jointed torso, so you can kind of spin it around and move it up and down a little bit. Ball hinging at both of the hips. He doesn't do a full split because it is hindered from the belt, but it does move a little bit. You get your rotations at both of the thighs. You get double bends at both of the knees. And then you get your ball hinging at the ankles along with rocker swivels. So very nicely articulated overall. One thing I do want to point out is that the joints do seem a little bit narrow compared to what we have seen before on Black Series figures. I don't know if that's just a character thing or if they're just going to start doing these sort of thinner limbs and joints on these figures, but it is something to take note of. Another thing I'd like to point out about the figure is that he is a little bit on the wobbly side. And that kind of happens sometimes with these Black Series and Marvel Legends figures, but it's kind of annoying. Like, the left leg isn't too bad, I guess, but the right leg's a little bit more wobbly. I just kind of wish they were a little bit more fixed, because sometimes that does affect them when you're trying to pose them. In the way of accessories, you do get 2 blasters. The first one is the smaller style blaster, and it looks quite similar to what we have seen before with Cantina alien figures. I don't know if it's the exact same blaster, but it definitely looks like they took inspiration from it. Pretty simplistic. It's like a very dark gray color, but it works. And then we also have this longer blaster that you get as well. It's more of a rifle. Has kind of an Imperial look to it, and a little bit of red paint on it. It's nice. It's also like a dark gray color, and looks like it got a little warped in the packaging. But overall, very nice, and it's also pretty sturdy. It's not too bendy like we often see on some of these weapons. What's also pretty cool about this figure is the fact that he holds his rifle with both hands. On previous figures that only had a ball-jointed elbow rather than a double-jointed elbow, like the First Order Stormtrooper, you couldn't really get him to hold the weapon in both hands. And Hasbro seems to have fixed that with this figure because he definitely can do that. And I guess you can attribute that to just a better range of movement with those ball-jointed elbows. I did mention the holster that you get right there, and if you wanted to put the small blaster in there, you could do that. You basically just slide it in. It's a little bit of a tight fit, considering that it's a pretty rubbery sort of holster or pocket or whatever you want to call that, but it seems to work okay. You can kind of just like push it in there like that. Maybe not the best aesthetic, but hey, it works. Now, interestingly, the Death Trooper is quite a bit taller than the Imperial Stormtrooper 6-inch Black Series figure. I guess these characters are just taller. I'm not sure. He's also a little bit skinnier though, particularly in the limbs. So that could just be the armor. I'm not really sure. I do like how the shoulders are a little bit slimmed down, because this, of course, is a little bit too bulky. And in that sense, this does look a little bit better, but it is very interesting how he's taller than the Stormtrooper. Now, as far as the height goes, you're looking at about almost 6.5 inches with this guy, so he's a little bit taller than 6 inches. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so there you have it. This is the Hasbro Star Wars, the Black Series, Imperial Death Trooper 6-inch scale figure. Overall, you guys, this is a solid figure. I really, really like it. I am a little confused by the height difference, especially compared to the Imperial Stormtrooper. I don't know if maybe in the film these guys are just going to be taller, or what the case may be, but it is noticeable. And also some of the joints are a little bit thin, but it seems to work quite well. Figure being able to hold the rifle in both hands. Aesthetically speaking, it's a fantastic looking figure. I really like the sculpt. I think all the details that it needs are there. Color is great. I really like the look of the glossy black along with the matte black. The greenish look to the lenses is really nice. All the joints seem to work quite well. There's a little bit of a hindrance with the shoulders and the hips, but for the most part, it seems to be sufficient. It's nice that you do get 2 weapons and that you can stow his blaster on his hip. I really like the figure and I'm really looking forward to seeing these guys in action. As such, if you're collecting the 6-inch Black Series line or you're looking forward to Rogue One, a Star Wars story, then I definitely suggest picking this figure up because it's really quite great. Alright my friends, if you've enjoyed this video, then please give us a like and subscribe. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Be sure to follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and as always, I want to thank you for watching Victoria's Cantina. Until next time my friends, bye bye.